I'm Anna Cathcart, and I play Kitty in Exo Kitty. Kitty is somebody who does everything with her full heart. She gets very passionate about the things and the people that she loves, and she's embarking on a brand new journey in this series. She's moving across the world for international school, and everything around her kind of gets turned upside down, and she just sets off on this journey of self-discovery and figuring out who she is and what growing up means.
And I'm Anthony Cavon. I play Q in Exo Kitty. Q is, I would say he's like the star athlete of KISS. He's also an American student at this international school, and he ends up becoming best friends with Kitty. I think Q is really important to the story because he's a queer character. He is a multi-ethnic character as well. And I think Q is a really important in terms of representation. Q is also kind of like the glue that holds the group together.
Totally.
This group is very chaotic. So you'll be able to see kind of moments where Q is able to kind of keep the group grounded and with a level head and everything. So yeah, I would say that's how I would describe Q.
He's like the friend everybody needs.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. He's like that moral compass that like keeps everyone in check.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Anna, first of all, you look like you've grown and matured so much since, to the All the Boys films, which is amazing because as viewers, it's like we're really part of this growing up journey with you. So I want to hear from you about your experience in this production because not only was it specifically focusing on your character's development and love life, but it was also shot in South Korea. So yeah, what was this whole project like for you?
It was honestly very surreal. Like you said, that we kind of grown up with Kitty, that I got to grow up with Kitty. And I first did the audition like way back when I was 13, and now I'm like almost 20 years old, which I'm like, that's insane to be playing the same character and getting to come back to a character in a story that I love so much, but also get to explore a new chapter of that story. So for this it's honestly very, very wild to get to. We were in South Korea when we shot it, so in a way I also got to go to international school. Like I got to move far away from home and meet new people and face new challenges and gain new life experiences. So having that parallel was very wild, and just getting the chance to come back to a character was like seeing an old friend, but also like somebody you haven't seen for a while.
Like a piece of you were coming back to.
Yeah, and there's parts about her that I know so well, but there's also parts I need to relearn and like unlearn, and she's changing and she's growing as you do when you get older. So it's a very interesting experience, but in a way it definitely felt like hey girl, we're back. Like it's you again. This is so fun, but it's a new version of her for sure.
Yeah, that's great. It's similar to Kitty in a way where you're exploring Korea for the first time.
No, exactly.
As well.
Exactly.
And Anthony, similar to Love Victor, you play Q, right? Which is who's an openly gay Filipino-Iranian character who becomes Kitty's best friend, like you mentioned. But I assume this production was also your first time shooting in Korea.
Yeah.
So I want from your experience as well. What sets this project apart from the others you've worked in, and did you face any challenges as well in Korea or portraying Q?
Of course. First of all, it was like I never thought in my whole career I would ever travel to South Korea for a job.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm so used to like the, LA, Atlanta, Vancouver. Those are like the hot spots for the industry. So never did it cross my mind that I'd be in Seoul for a show. So that in itself was already such like a crazy idea to wrap my head around. And then being there, I've been an actor my whole life pretty much since I was 5, and I felt like I kind of knew everything I needed to know about how to do my job. But this production really showed me differently, and how, I learned so much from being around an entirely Korean crew, and how to work around, things like language barriers, and just watching how our American crew members and the Korean crew members worked so well together without really speaking the same language ever. So it was just really interesting to see that difference then, the collaboration of it all. It was a really beautiful thing because it was challenging. We had many challenges. There was a couple setbacks here and there, as most productions have, but everything kind of felt heightened because we were so far away from home. But it was really beautiful to see how everything came together and how everybody was just had this collective mindset of like getting the job done. Everyone felt like they were on the same page by the end of it, so it was a really beautiful experience.
That's great. So, throughout this whole series, we dive into Kitty's Asian roots, right? So, although it's set in an international school, we're able to see similarities and differences between the Asian and American culture and how
Hmm.
Kitty struggles to learn and adapt, and but also balance both. Could you both talk a little bit about dynamic because I'm sure that's something many can relate to, and what have you learned from playing these characters who are also half Asian?
Yeah, growing up as a mixed Asian kid, I always kind of felt like I got to be a part of multiple like worlds, or not worlds, but just be exposed to so many amazing like cultures and traditions from both sides of me, which was amazing. And I mean, I was lucky I grew up in Vancouver where that was very accepted, and I always felt very validated in my racial identity. And there was a lot of mixed kids around me as well. I feel like even like at my high school there were a lot of halfies, and that community was there, which I understand is not the same for a lot of people. But for me, I feel like being mixed was kind of like a superpower sometimes. Like I was like, oh, I get to know all of these amazing parts of me, and then all these amazing parts too. And it made me whole. It wasn't just two halves, which I think was really special. And I hope people can see that as well when they're mixed, can feel that way as well. Because I know it's not like that for everybody. But now getting to play a mixed character on screen is so special because, like you said, we're going back to the place her mom is from, and she's getting to learn about where she went to international school, which is something that Kitty's never really had the chance to do, to become close to her mom in that way, where it's more hands-on, I guess, and more direct versus hearing about it through her dad or through her sisters. So it's very important. I think it comes at a time of Kitty's life as well where she's really valuing that. And she definitely, we know her as like a fan of love, but it's not just romantic love, it's also family love and self-love. And I love that Exo Kitty doesn't just talk about that one type of romance relationship love. It's also just all forms of it, and it definitely explores it in a family way and in a background and race way as well.
Great. So, really quickly, since it's AAPI month, Heritage Month, do you have a message for the AAPI community specifically? And what do you hope they take away from this Netflix series?
Go for it.
Okay, yeah. I hope the AAPI viewers who are watching can feel like this show is for them, because it is. I've grown up in this industry, and being a mixed Asian kid, there aren't a lot of opportunities for us to play people like us. I've been kind of, I have like an ambiguous look a little bit, so I feel like a lot of times I'm, asked to put away a certain part of me and, only illuminate one part of me, or I feel like I'm too much of something or not enough of the other. And I feel like a lot of mixed Asian kids feel that way. And I hope they can watch the show and feel like they're not alone. And I hope it gives them hope that they can, be like anybody else. And I hope that our show makes them feel like their story is being told.
And yeah, just to like add to that, and also that they can be celebrated and
Exactly.
be love interests and be
Yeah.
the main character, and not just be
A stereotype.
yeah, and not
Yeah.
that their race is like what people is all that people see of them. It's like this is an amazing part of Kitty and an amazing part of Q is that they are mixed race, but it's just one part of their story and their identity, which I think is also really special.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you both so much. I hope you both have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.